So, Kylian Mbappé signing for Real Madrid is an interesting prospect tactically because we all know that he doesn't really like to play centre forward. He prefers to be out on the left, but obviously there's one of my favourite players in the world at the moment in Vinnie Júnior on that left-hand side. So how is Ancelotti going to get Mbappé, Vinnie, Bellingham, etc. into a starting 11 and get a decent balance? I've got 3 tactics to show you today, all available down in the description via my Patreon. They will be there as direct downloads, so go check out the Patreon if you want to support me as a creator and the channel. With a new season kicking off as well, there's going to be so many tactical videos coming out, replications over the next few weeks and months, so make sure you check out the Patreon. Link down in the description. Right, the first one I think is a little bit of keeping Vinnie where he does best. So we want Vinnie out on this left-hand side, inside forward on attack. We then probably have to put Mbappé there with Bellingham there. Now, he's not necessarily going to like that. I do think there'll be, and we have done this at times, Vinnie's fitness in the game sees after about 70, 80 minutes him being absolutely knackered. So it might be a case of Mbappé plays there a little bit, Vinnie goes out on the left-hand side, with then Bellingham obviously keeping that midfield role. I am going to go through all the team instructions and player instructions in a minute, so don't worry. Option 2, this one, which is no striker, and I have done a couple of, we've actually played through a season with using all 3 tactics. And this one I found just a little bit more defensively solid. However, we didn't create nowhere near as many chances in the games that we played with this tactic. So I think at times, when they come under the cosh a little bit, I'm thinking in the European games like Man City and etc., they're quite happy to sit in. Off the ball, they may look a little bit like this with Mbappé covering the wider area on that right-hand side. And obviously then there'll be times where they'll just have to rotate. I think my only worry is Vinnie doing that real striker role, that narrow striker role there, doesn't suit him nowhere near as much as what Mbappé does. I do actually really like Mbappé down that right-hand side. Just been absolutely rapid, still cutting in onto the left foot, but he could still then shift it out onto his right foot, pretty much like Garnacho does at Man United. So much better on that right-hand side than the left-hand side because he can use his right foot to shoot across the goalie. Whether Mbappé would like that, I'm not too sure. They could even go with a 4-2-3-1 if they wanted, getting rid of the DM and then having maybe a Rodrigo as a central striker and doing that, but I don't think Mbappé is really going to enjoy playing out on that right-hand side. The other option is to do a diamond with them both advance forwards but dribble more and both staying wider, so they'll split wide. I thought that was more of a realistic solution. I think they'll both rotate. We obviously still want to see Vinnie out here receiving in really wide areas, but this is the tactic off the ball. Vinnie's okay as a presser. We know Mbappé isn't great, so they may set up themselves with a diamond. Okay, so we're going to go through each tactic with the sort of like the player instructions. All the player instructions, if I don't mention them, so these roles here, the back 7 or back 8, including the goalkeeper, don't change. They all stay the same. It's just the combination of these two here. Player instructions well stay the same. The issue they have is, I think, with the tactic going into sort of like a diamond is the lack of quality in the wide areas in terms of fullbacks. Now, they have mentioned in particular, looks like they're going to have one more season with just having Mendy out there, and then it looks like Alphonso Davies is going to come in, so that'll be absolutely wild, him as a wing-back. And they've also spoke about Trent as well on that right-hand side. That, with Trent and Davies and the other players that we're going to go through the squad in a minute, is going to be absolutely incredible. And I do see that, more likely that Trent might be a player that they'll try and get for that right-hand side because they're absolutely stacked in the attacking areas. If you think now about, if we look at the squad itself, some youngsters to come in, but obviously Mbappé, Rodrigo, Vinnie, Gula, Diaz, Endrick as well, new signing. So they're absolutely covered in the attacking areas. Maybe a little bit of depth, maybe needed to be done in midfield with potentially Ceballos not good enough, Cruz going, Modric going. So over the next 2 years, I imagine they're going to spend pretty big in the central midfield area next season, especially because Davies will be a free transfer. So the tactics itself, we've got 3. We've got the offset diamond, we've got the no striker, and we've got the Mbappé diamond. So these roles here, as I said, are all the same. So Courtois, sweeper, keeper, on defend, no player instructions. The 2 fullbacks as well, just bog standard fullbacks on support. You could argue as well, especially with this one, you could maybe move that up to a wing back on support. You could probably do wing back on support on others, but they don't, especially Furlan Mendy on that side. Carvajal does at times, but I do think fullback on support is well suited to them both. So it would be Carvajal on that right-hand side, left-hand side, Furlan Mendy. 2 defenders, bog standard central defenders in Rudiger and Militao. You could maybe go Militao as a ball-playing defender if you wish. Defensive midfielder, just defensive midfielder on defend. Tchouaméni, no play instructions on there. Carrilero, so we can cover these wide areas. We're going with Camavinga, no play instructions. With the Mazzala, very important to give us a little bit of width. We know Federico Valverde likes to hit these wide areas at times, so Mazzala on support with the play instruction of tackle harder. Now, Bellingham is an interesting one. I would love, like, we have false 9 in the game, but I would love false target forward. So I've tried to have him as a target forward, but he just starts too high. And I want him to be sort of like the link player. So it's a bit like an Enganche, but we needed a little bit more for him. So we've just gone with attacking midfielder and support with the instructions of hold ball up, tackle harder and mark tighter. So he's good out of possession. And then we're basically whatever situation we have, he's holding the ball up and then playing in those two. So for the offset diamond, the Vinnie role, just stay wider because he does like to keep his width to start with and then come in. If you don't have that on, he just starts a little bit too narrow for me. So inside forward on attack, instructions stay wider. And then Mbappe, ease off tackles because it's Mbappe. And stay wider just so he works the little half space. We don't want him acting as a poacher. We do want to give us a little bit of width down this right-hand side. The other variant is still Vinnie on that left-hand side, stay wider. Mbappe then shifted off to the right. And I haven't put stay wider on him because I do think he'll want to maybe come in a little bit more central, potentially. And then the third version, advanced forward, both instructions stay wider and dribble more advanced forwards. The team instructions, positive mentality, shorter passing with slightly higher, play out of defence and then focus passing down the left. If we look at there who scored, attacking focus down the left-hand side. And I still think that's key. I still think they need to really give that ball to Vinnie and then maybe have Mbappe getting on the end of things. Obviously, when Mbappe gets the opportunity, you're going to have squad rotation. Vinnie might get injured. You might see an Mbappe going out there and then maybe a Rodrigo or even an Endrick coming into that advanced forward role if we have an injury to Vinnie or he just needs a little bit of a rest. Play out of defence, yes. Shorter passing, slightly over said, fairly attacking width. Work ball into the box, yes. With low crosses, yes. We're not going to be doing too much there in terms of balls in the box. Be more expressive as well. Obviously, that low box cross as well, we get those cutbacks, which is really nice. Be more expressive. Let them, in that tactic, do whatever they want, basically. In transition, no counter-pressing because they're not going to be a great counter-pressing side. I think with Mbappe, it's going to be literally just making sure that back four and in that Tchouaméni, that holding midfielder, they've got the energy with the midfielders just getting back. I didn't want to put regroup because I thought that was a little bit too negative, so I've just left it off. Counter-attacking, obviously, yes, and distribute the ball to the centre-halves. And then out of possession, we've just gone basic, high defensive line and high press. So those are the options. I would love to know down in the comments what you think Mbappe is potentially going to do and in terms of his role and where is he going to play. Will he just rotate and have Vinnie and Mbappe being on that left-hand side, or will he just say, right, you're never quite sure with Mbappe what kind of stipulations he's got and if he's demanded to play on the left. I honestly think Real Madrid wouldn't do that. You would hope that they would appreciate Vinnie and how good he is. And he's not at PSG now where he can do whatever he wants. It'd be really fascinating to see. Obviously, we've not seen anything in pre-season because neither of them are there at the moment in terms of playing the games, but it'd be fascinating. And what we'll do is I'll come back to this, maybe another tactic video once the season starts, once Mbappe and Vinnie are going, and see how well they're combining together. All right, I have played through a season. I did sort of like the not holiday mode, but I did the simulating because with the skin I've got, I can simulate games, which makes it a little bit better than holiday because you can pick your team each game and I just press simulate. And we didn't have a great season. Now, we won the cup, we won the Super Copa and the Copa del Rey, but we finished 5 points off Barca and we just shit out at the end of the season. We've scored 102 goals, 34 conceded, only 4 defeats, so not bad at all. We just cocked it up. Celta Vigo away, Real Vallecano at home. In here, we've had a difficult month when games, but we've beaten Barcelona. I think we've beaten Barcelona every time. 3-2 in the Super Copa. We beat them in the Copa del Rey. We beat them 3-2 at the start of the season, and we beat them 4-0 at home as well. So what I tended to do was first half of the season, we played the first one, which was the offset diamond. And then I thought more about this diamond and how probably realistic it is off the ball. Unfortunately for Mbappe, he's not been absolutely amazing. He's had 2 injuries for us this season. He's had more than 2 injuries. He's had a lot. He's killed us a little bit here. He's had a lot. He had a tight thigh. So he was only out for 3 days there, but then he was out for food poisoning for 3 days, then a twisted ankle for 3 weeks, then a twisted knee, 7 days, then twisted ankle 4 weeks, and then he's broken his foot at the start of May. Meant we didn't have him for the last few games of the season. We got injured there, and then maybe would have picked up a few more points if we'd have had Mbappe, and that would have them 5 points would have given us the league on a better head-to-head standing. So a little bit unfortunate. He did do well. If we look at the goals, 25 goals in 32 games, so absolutely fine. We've just not managed to get him fully going. However, Vinnie Júnior absolutely loving that diamond roll. 37 goals, 15 assists. Tremendous. Jude Bellingham as well, 20 goals, 15 assists. And then, for next season, if I was carrying on the save, it'd be signing a new left back, signing a new right back, giving us another option in there that I've spoke about as well. So Trent, Davies, a player in there, like Tchouaméni, Camavinga, kind of the holders. Do they need another, a creative player? They've lost probably, Modric will be going, Kroos will be going. Do they need that absolute, maybe, wonderful creator? Florian Wirtz has been mentioned as well, so maybe a Florian Wirtz. Maybe do they bring Bellingham back and then allow Wirtz to go in there? Oh, God. Real Madrid guys are going to be so good over the next few years. Xavi Alonso potentially in next season as well. That is going to be wild. All right. Patreons, remember, you've got the tactics to download as part of your membership. So go check out the channel. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to cover a few more of these over the next few weeks. One season with particular teams, set them up tactically, how they may play. Let me know your suggestions. I am thinking of doing a Chelsea one. So let me know your suggestions down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Smash a like before you go. That would be wonderful. See you later.